What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 Core in white and the additional component pack. I was sent out this controller by Game to do a review over on Instagram, but of course I wanted to do a more in-depth look here on YouTube, so here we are. The Elite controller comes in at a price of £115. The controller itself comes in a great box. This is one of those that you'd happily keep on your shelf, and upon removing the top, we're greeted right away by the controller. In this beautiful white colourway, it's no secret that I'm a big fan of the black and white combo or the Stormtrooper kind of look, and this is right up my street. This is actually my first experience with an Elite controller, even though I've been Team Xbox for many years. My first impressions of the controller was that it's got great build quality. It feels weighty, but in a good way, the kind of way that tells you it's made from decent materials. And off the bat, all the buttons and triggers feel fantastic to press with the right amount of resistance and feedback. And the textured grips feels very nice in your hands. And in my experience, they do help reduce the slip that you get when you've got sweaty hands. So it's here that I got to play around with the trigger locks, which have 3 settings that you can quickly adjust on the underside of the controller. The idea behind these is to be able to customize the triggers for different types of games. First person shooters like Call of Duty, you're going to want the shortest setting, meaning you're going to fire faster. And then on games like Forza, you want the full range, so you can control your speed or braking. You also get a really nice braided USB-C cable, which is used to charge or plug the controller into your Xbox, PC, etc. It's a quite long cable too, so it gives you plenty of room to move around. There's also a little tool inside the packaging which is used to remove the components. And of course some manuals, which we'll take a quick skim through before setting these aside and just messing around until we figure out how to use this thing. Quickly moving on to the component pack here, and this is an additional extra that contains some accessories for the controller, like a wireless charging stand, a hard shell carry case, and all the interchangeable pieces for the controller. The component pack comes in at a price of around £55. Again here we get some fantastic packaging, and we're presented right away with the hardshell case upon opening the box. This hardshell carry case is again built really well, using great materials, and it looks great in this all black stealthy look. There's a little loop and a hole at the back that you can use to charge the controller whilst it's stored inside the case. For some reason there's about 50 manuals contained inside this case. I have no idea why there's so many. None of these were really read. This right here is the charging dock. So this can either sit inside your case, or of course your desk or your TV unit or wherever you want. And this is how you keep your Elite controller charged up at all times. We're again provided another quality USB-C cable which will be used for the charging dock. This is also really long in length and is a nice braided quality. Now for the interchangeable pieces. This is really what you're after, I think, when purchasing this pack, because it's here where we can have the additional triggers or paddles. There are quite a few pieces, 4 thumbsticks which have different textures or are in different lengths, a different D-pad, and the additional paddles that attach on the underside of the controller. You also get another tool inside here for removing the pieces. But I think that the way all the pieces sit inside this case is really nice. It's all very neat, and it's a nice rubber quality which feels great and holds the pieces in securely. The little square dip is where the charging dock will sit inside the case, and then you have easy access to being able to plug in the USB-C cable through the little slot, and thus keeping your controller charged whilst it's sat inside the case. Now let's swap out some pieces. So on the underside here you'll see 4 little buttons and holes for the paddles. The paddles simply pop in and pop out just as easy. They slot in at an angle and have a slight magnetic pull to them which keeps them connected. Once in, they take very little to be able to pull them, and there is 0 travel, meaning as soon as you pull these, they will press the little button and fire away. So yeah, as I said, they slot in very easy, and as far as I found, you can pretty much have them any way you want, facing up or down. And of course, you get the choice of 4, so you can use all 4, or just 2, or 1, whatever your preference is. Again, all the pieces simply pop off, and then you can swap them out for anything of your choosing. I quite like the new funky D-pad that comes with the controller, but you have the option for the more traditional D-pad if you prefer, and then one of the 4 different thumbsticks which you can play around with and find your favourites. The ones that come with the controller feel the best in my opinion, however the different length thumbsticks I think could be quite useful. One of the best things about the carry case is you don't actually have to remove the paddles to let the controller sit on the charging dock. They don't interfere at all, so you can just pop your controller on the dock and the pins will connect. And now you're free to be able to charge up the controller inside the case. Just get your cable and slot it through the little cutout made for the cable and voila. You'll see the light on the controller to indicate when it's being charged. The controller actually has a 40-hour battery life, which is an insane amount. I've not actually had to charge this since owning it yet. The Elite controller also allows you to have up to 3 saved profiles and totally customize all the controls even further. So connect the controller to your PC and spin up the Xbox Accessories app. Inside the app you'll have full control so you can create and store different profiles on the controller. Perhaps a profile for FPS games and a profile for racing games, etc. You can also control the full mapping of the controller, control both the left and the right stick independently with different settings, and again ability to adjust dead zones on either trigger. I'm not sure why you'd want any dead zones, but it's there for those who might. The ability to adjust the vibration levels, and a bit more of a fun one is the ability to change the LED light for the Xbox button in the centre of the controller. You can pick from an array of colours or create your own. The colour control is actually quite handy for mapping your different profiles, so you can see better at a quick glance what profile you're on. You could have red for FPS, blue for racing, and green for some farming sim, something like that. And it's on the controller where you can toggle between the different profiles by pressing the button between the start and the select. This loops through the profiles and you can see by the LED indicator light here which one is selected, and again see the Xbox logo change colour depending on what you have set. When you are creating different profiles you can only have 3 stored on the controller, so if creating new profiles make sure you set it to the controller, as you can still have different profiles in reserve in the app but you won't be able to select them on the controller unless set to one of the 3 options. Now I'm a PC man and that means I use mouse and keyboard for FPS games now, but I used to rock a controller forever, and this controller would have been an absolute game changer for when I'm trying to be sweaty on COD. The shorter triggers make such a difference, and the paddles on the underside are game changing. Mapping these to reload quicker, or perhaps your melee button, is definitely going to give you an edge versus other console players. Again, as I said previously, the build quality and the quality of the materials is fantastic. Hopefully it doesn't develop stick drift or something like that over time, but we will see. Overall I'm very impressed personally. I think both the controller and the component pack are worth their price tags, and I think honestly anyone would be pretty happy with these. They'd actually make a really good Christmas present. So there we have it. There is a quick look at the Xbox Elite Wireless controller. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you did, consider dropping a like, maybe subscribing, and until the next one, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.